welcome to Energy Talks, a regular podcast series with expert discussions on power system testing topics. My name is Scott Williams from the podcast team at Omicron, and I will be your host. Hello, everyone. It is always interesting to hear about how different regions of the world perform power system testing. There are many similarities, but also differences based on, for example, regional challenges and user needs in testing environments. In this episode, we will cover how power system testing is performed in the Middle East. Specifically, we will hear about how portable battery-powered and multifunctional testing solutions, such as Omicron's COMPANO 100, are being used to great advantage for performing power system testing in the region. Many of the popular features in this testing solution are the result of feedback from testing engineers who are facing various challenges in the field. My guests in this episode are all field testing experts and also colleagues of mine at Omicron. They are joining me from the Omicron office in Bahrain. They have experience with many aspects of power system testing in different Middle East countries. First, I would like to introduce Mohamed Ali. Hello, Mohamed. Welcome to Energy Talks.
Hi, Scott. Thanks to have me in this podcast.
Also joining me is Fadi Zatari. Hello, Fadi. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Scott. Thanks a lot for having me and for such nice opportunity to join Energy Talks podcast.
And my third guest in this discussion is Ahmed Abdelwahab. Hello, Ahmed. Also a warm welcome to you.
Hi, Scott. It's my pleasure to be with you today and with the team from MEA region.
Thank you for joining me for this episode. May I ask each of you to highlight the differences between the power system infrastructures in various Middle East countries, and what particular power system measurement challenges do field testing engineers face in these countries? Mohamed, let me start with you.
Thank you, Scott, for your question. Actually, regarding the Middle East, I can segregate between two different countries like Gulf area and North Africa. It's not much differences between both of them, but I would like to talk about protection relays as an example. If we will talk about the Gulf countries, there are very modern network updated with the latest technology. In North Africa, you can find all generations of the technologies, starting from the electromechanical, static, and the latest one, which is a numerical. One of the main differences in the GCC is the climate, which add a lot of challenges to do testing. But in most of countries, utilities are owned by the governments.
Fadi, what have you experienced?
Thanks for this question. So additional to what was mentioned by Mohammed, the electrical power grid structure in most of our countries can be split to three levels. The first one, the generation, then transmission, and finally the distribution. And as Mohammed said, you can split our region to the Gulf region, then Africa and Turkey. So those levels will be under different managements with different owners. It might be totally under the government, like in GCC, or will be under the private sector or hybrid, in like Turkey or some African countries. Of course, we can consider the big consumers in this case, like industrial segment from oil and gas and big factories for steel and aluminum. And plus to the railways. This diversity of the management, voltage level and application will give us a wide diversity in the testing procedures, needs and technical level. Adding to what was mentioned by Mohammed about the climate challenges, also the testing location will add another burden because sometimes the needed test need to be performed in a remote area, remote location, maybe in the desert, or even in the offshore, in the middle of the sea. So taking a bunch of testing equipment to perform one test will be a big challenge for our customers.
What has been your experience, Ahmed?
Actually, as Ibrahim said, when we are mentioned the word solution, it means there is a problem exists and we need to find how to solve it. So here with the infrastructure and the distribution voltage level especially in the MEA region, as we are really sitting right now, we are facing a lot of problems, especially with the infrastructure, that the people who don't test the infrastructure because they have a problem with the existing power supply in for example, the ring main units. So with the COMPANO 100, we solve the problem. We give them a portable solution. They can do 100% of their needs in one shot exactly without need any external power supply. So the solution for the infrastructure testing and also for the distribution voltage level and also for the extra high voltage power system, because the range of COMPANO function is wide and can do more. So what I am saying that many problems can be covered and solved with the COMPANO 100.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Which particular power system measurements are particularly important in Middle East countries? How have they been performed in the past? Mohamed, what has been your experience?
Actually, a lot of tests and measurements had to be done, such as wiring and polarity checks, burden measurement, protection relay testing, CT and VT ratio checks, micro-ohm resistance testing, MCB, for example, and many more. Because of the limited time, I think this is maybe more than enough, but I would like to give some examples. In the past, we used different test kits based on the function, which make it more difficult. Even I remember myself, when I was a protection engineer, sometimes I skipped some tests because of the availability of the test kits which needed to be used. That's why, from my point of view, and also I think from the customer point of view, multi-function test kit is needed, especially if we would like to do multi-tests at the same time, safely, and also with the highest quality.
Fadi, what have you experienced?
So if you allow me, I maybe will add a couple of also needed tests to what was mentioned by Mohammed. The first one, circuit breaker contact resistance and timing measurement. In addition to that, the primary current injection for the medium voltage switchgear. So in the past, for example, a bunch of small dedicated test equipment was needed. For example, for the contact resistance for circuit breaker, a small multimeter need to do that, then another device to perform the timing, a third device to do the primary injection, and another device to do a single phase basic protection relays, and so on. So it was a bunch of test equipment to perform such a test.
And Ahmed, what has been your experience?
One application from these, Ibrahim was already mentioned, the protection relay. Especially with the distribution voltage level, we have something we call it self-power relay. The self-power relay is one of the most important protection relay in the ring main unit and in the distribution. The problem, how to can test it, because there is no external power supply in the ring main unit or in the metering RMUs. The problem that the people were not able to test because there is no external power supply that we can power up the relay, because the relay will be powered up during the fault. The idea behind the COMPANO that we provide them with a testing solution can complete the thing and complete the test of the ring main unit without any needed external power supply. Plus, it will complete the entire protection testing, starting from the pickup to the drop off to the trimming time, measuring the trip time, and doing the entire protection scheme testing, injecting high current for a certain duration that will fulfill everything that we need during the testing of the RMUs and MRMUs. You can imagine that the RMU is placed in the middle of the desert and there is no external power supply, how you can test it. So we're giving the solution to test it, also to increase the reliability and to reduce the probability to have a problems or to have a maloperation for the RMUs or the MRMUs. This is really what I feel that the people will do, and they will overcome the challenges which they face in the past without COMPANO solution.
Very good. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Scott.
What types of measurement equipment are best to help field testing engineers deal with their measurement challenges in Middle East countries? Mohamed, what is your opinion?
Actually, it depends on many factors like function, time, and location. For example, I did a contact resistance measurement and timing for circuit breaker by basic testing, but I found that the result is not acceptable. Then, at that moment, I need to use a COMPANO, for example, to do more deep investigation to discover what are the main root causes for this issue. Fortunately, Omicron is offering innovative solutions which always covering both approach, basic and comprehensive, and keeping in mind to save time, effort, and giving the highest quality. For example, CMC with the Test Universe is the most powerful software in the secondary injection testing world. COMPANO is coming to meet a lot of requirements in the maintenance field, which require the mix between primary and secondary testing in one device. Battery operated, lightweight. We are talking about 10 kg. Imagine how much it's a light compared to the existing devices. It's more mobilized. Maybe I can give example as RMU testing, which is a mix between primary and secondary testing are needed, such as wiring and polarity checks, self-power relay, which is also a big challenge, burden measurement, single-phase protection relay testing, CT and VT ratio checks, macro ohm meter resistance testing. One of the big challenges is the training as well on how to use the device, which you don't need this challenge to be exist anymore with COMPANO. Why? As you can use the user manual, very, very easy to be understandable. And also you can use self-learning by using the application on Google Play or iOS market. It is free of charge. It can explain tests in PDF format and videos. Just use your mobile to scan the QR code for any test that you want, and instantaneously you will get all explanations, all details, and a guide to do the test. Luckily, we have a product manager who is listening very well to our market needs and listen to feedback from the customers. He's immediately tried to take an action to modify and to improve the performance of COMPANO. That's why COMPANO is very successful. If you can imagine how much improvement happened since we launched COMPANO 100, it's a huge improvement. That's why now COMPANO is one of the most popular devices in the basic testing field in our region.
Fadi, what is your response?
So I will also support Mohamed's feedback. So from my opinion, an easy-to-use multifunctional test kit with comprehensive testing functionality can do the job. For sure, there is some aspects we need to keep in our minds, like the weight and the size of the device. Trust me, Scout, back to some years, I was a testing engineer. So for me, the lighter test kit I have, it will be much better for me. Adding to that, ease of learning and use, plus the portability and the ability to use in any location. I mean here the battery operated test kit, which is the game changer since it will give me a high flexibility to use a device in any time, in any location. Last but not least, an accurate test kit with high quality and from a good reputation brand. So if we add all those functionalities and feature, COMPANO can fulfill all of them.
Ahmed, is there anything you want to add?
I want to add that there is also another testing and measurement can be done with a COMPANO rather than the basic one, starting as Ibrahim said, testing for the self-power relay, CT-VT ratio burden. Also, there is a lot of testing related to the step and touch voltage. And also the earth measurement at the extra high voltage, because as you know, safety is first. The people should do the earth testing in the network, in that substation, to reduce the possibility that anyone can get a other shock from the stray voltage and also from the step and touch voltage. With the COMPANO, you can do such, and it is, as we said, a friendly user test kit that you can do many tests, starting from the advanced to the basic, even to the safety test, So I can feel that Ibrahim mentioned most of the features inside the COMPANO 100, but as I said, there is a lot you can do with the COMPANO. As I mentioned, step and touch voltage and the grounding network measurement. Thanks, Scott.
Given the measurement challenges you described in various Middle East countries, why do you think it is beneficial for users to have one device for performing multiple tests? Ahmed, what is your opinion based on the experience of field testing engineers?
Having a COMPANO means that you have a complete solution for everything. As we said, COMPANO comes from the word complete. So it provides you a complete solution for testing the RMUs, switchgear, with a one device, battery operated, lightweight, and also it's rechargeable. You can recharge it very easily, even if you are in the middle of the desert and you would like to recharge it, there is an option to charge it from your car. So you can do everything with a COMPANO. For me, I can just carry COMPANO on my shoulder, running between their RMUs, doing the test easily. And I am pretty sure that many customers who is really using the COMPANO, they are very, very satisfied with the results of the COMPANO. Having a one product can do the entire testing. A certain switch gear, as Ibrahim said, starts from the primary to the secondary, even to the extra testing like the earth testing and step and touch voltage. So I think it's an added value to everyone who can have COMPANO in his hand.
Fadi, what is your opinion?
For the basic testing, better to have a multifunctional test kit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine that we need to perform some basic test in a remote area. For example, railway grid in this case. And we need to carry a bunch of test items with us to the field, keeping in our mind if we have a near main socket or not. So remote area, bunch of equipment, and then I will still question myself, do I have a main socket there or it's not available? But if I have a single battery operated multifunctional device, can help me in this job. Or additional point, for example, fewer devices means fewer shipping space. If I have a bus or I have a car or whatever shipping tool I have, and fewer calibration reports needed. Imagine myself as a service provider, and to perform the test, I need to have a calibration or valid calibration certificate for each equipment. So if I need to use 6 or 7, I need to have 6 or 7 calibration reports and pay money to do this calibration. But if I have one device, I only need one calibration report. Plus, it will give me more testing flexibility than a bunch of small dedicated test devices. Last but not least, it will save more money in a short terms and a long terms as a customer. In some cases, an instant saving will appear.
Mohamed, what have you experienced?
Exactly as my colleague said. Plus, I would like to highlight that saving time, efforts with a high quality and accuracy are enough to overcome most of the challenges at site. It's a user-friendly, and user-friendly is playing an important role in the COMPANO success.
What particular COMPANO 100 features do users in these countries like best? And why do these features help users in performing power system measurements? Mohamed, what is your opinion?
Sure, many cases. As we sold too many units of COMPANOs in our region, I can say they like COMPANO 100 for a lot of reasons, because COMPANO 100 is a universal and easy to use solution for all types of basic testing duties in electrical energy systems. Controlled electronic sources allow the user to obtain exactly the desired value. And this is a very, very important that you have a very accurate value to be generated from the test kit. The output signal with variable frequency and other signal forms, automated ramps, and pure DC. The highly flexible inputs are configurable, for example, as a binary input for relay testing, AC or DC voltage input or current input. Lightweight, we are talking about 10 kg as I already mentioned before. Imagine how it's light, especially for the people who use the very heavy devices in the past.
Sure.
It's a battery operated. It's amazing. Imagine also most of the people before, and I was one of them, who used to be locked to a place because the supply for his test kit. But now battery operated, very mobilized device. Run a complex predefined sequence and ramps. I remember that when I was demonstrated this function, a customer decided immediately to purchase COMPANO because of it. Why? He impressed that basic testing, but also can be used for some semi-automated tests. Maybe I need to mention 2 feedbacks. I got
Sure.
it from our customers, if you don't mind. First
Please.
one is from a protection manager who has 4 COMPANOs in his office. He informed me that his team only returned it back to recharge it, and immediately they took it after recharge it to go back to the field. Imagine how it is important for them to use COMPANO and how it is flexible for them to use such kind of devices. Another feedback came from another manager, and imagine what he told me. He told me that it's never cooled down and always they are using it at site because problem in their daily activities. Actually, this came because the lithium battery issue that I need to raise a knowledge of our customer that lithium battery has to be recharged once at least every 6 months. And the answer was why we need 6 months. We always using it in our daily activities. We never ever let the COMPANO without recharging within this long time.
Fadi, what do you think?
Yeah, I was inspired with feedback from Mohamed actually, but also I need to add one practice from one of our customers in Turkey. They are using the COMPANO as a toolbox. Imagine that, either from the operation team or from the maintenance team to perform a routine planned test activities in their medium voltage assets to test all components or in some case for troubleshooting test after fault alarms. This practice includes the protection relay testing, instrument transformer ratio test, circuit breaker, contact resistance, untiming test, and much more tests.
Mm-hmm. And Ahmed, what is your opinion?
I think, Scott, that running a complex predefined test, and we can create something, we call it the profile. You can just create new test template for you. And whenever you would like to do such kind of testing, you just load it to the COMPANO and then you can run it. Another thing also, the accessories. COMPANO have a wide range of accessories, especially when you talk about the protection testing. We have some kind of a protection testing, we call it, as we mentioned earlier, that SPR, the self-power relay. This kind of protection relay need a special treatment as it is distorting the current waveform, comes out from the testing kit. Without the CPF1 and with using any other product, the waveform will be entirely distorted and the testing will be wrong. You will get a wrong trip time because the waveform is entirely distorted. With the COMPANO and its accessory CPF1 as a smoothing current transformer, you can just adjust the current waveform from the COMPANO, then you can test it. So, as Ibrahim said, many features starting from the current output, from the battery operated. Also, we can mention here the accessories where you can simplify the life of the testing engineer or the testing technician. This is from my side, Scott.
Very good. Thank you, Ahmed. What particular power industry trends do you see in the Middle East that will make power system testing even more important in the future? And how do you see COMPANO 100 being used in the future? Ahmed, what do you see as power industry trends and use of COMPANO 100 in the Middle East?
The smart RMUs. The RMUs also in the distribution voltage level, you can use a COMPANO as it is a new trend in the power system. The DAR, as you need a lightweight product that can help you to run between the cells to test, to do everything. You need to be recharged even in the wind turbine. There is no external power supply. You can take the COMPANO with you and you can on the top of the wind turbine and you can do whatever you would like to do. Using a powerful test kit with lightweight will help you a lot to do such things in the trend. Many things with the COMPANO, and also we are improving now the COMPANO to do many things more. So from the power system trend, you can use a COMPANO in the old power system and in the new, and even it is a future-proof solution for the power system. Thanks, Scott.
Fadi, what is your opinion?
Well, Scott, so from my opinion, the renewable energy will be the most trend in our region.
Renewable energy, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and COMPANO 100 with its powerful feature and continuous development will cover a wider application field where any parameter of voltage and current is tested. Of course, conventional application area will continue to be interesting for COMPANO 100 usage. Mm-hmm. We believe that COMPANO 100 will become the essential part of test device fleet for any maintenance company or team. And what makes me confident with my statement is the great feedback we got till now from our customers and our sales partner network. Additional to that, our talented colleague in our region, which keep feeding and sending the feature wish and the voice from the region to the product management team to keep them updated and to keep this thing to improve our devices. Adding to that also, we have a very active product manager who is keep listening to the customer, keep listening to us, doing some tests, some feature wish, and also some additional features. And maybe I can give an example. A couple of months back, the product manager of COMPANO was visiting some customers in Turkey to meet them, to listen to their needs, and to try some new features.
And Mohamed, what do you think?
I fully agree with Fadi, and only just I need to highlight that distributed energy resources, which is the DER, is one of the new trends in the market. Microgrids, renewable power resources. Maybe people will say that all of them are similar, but I want to mention of them. And one of the most important here in the region trends that we can notice that very fast network expansions, which needs huge efforts to maintain it. And I think this is a kind of success point for COMPANO, because COMPANO can meet all the expectation and it can be used in these trends.
Mohamed, where can our listeners get more information about COMPANO 100? And are there any special training courses available about its practical use in the field?
In Omicron, we are very lucky because Omicron offers a lot of sources for knowledge sharing, such as customer portal, YouTube channel, webinars, and technical support for sure. And don't forget the podcast that we do one of it right now. But also, I can mention very clear that COMPANO, it's easy to be used because, as I already mentioned in advance, that there is an application which you can install it in your mobile. Only just scan the QR code for any application that you would like to do, and you will get a lot of explanation in a PDF format, or even you can watch a video to do the test step by step. It's easy to get any information from Omicron, and especially for COMPANO, it's more easier.
Fadi, do you have anything to add?
Thanks for asking me. I will add maybe 2 points to what was mentioned by Mohamed. First one, we have the regional offices, so the customer can contact us in any time, and we can provide the needed knowledge for him about the COMPANO or any other devices, in addition to the local sales partners. I will give an example from Turkey. Since Turkey is one of our main market for COMPANO, we have a sales partner there called Mark Electronics, and they have a very talented team members who can provide the training, demonstration, and free loan demos to the customer to try the COMPANO, to play with it a little bit, and to discover the feature of this device. In addition to that, the after sales support, which include the repair and calibration, since they are authorized repair center from Omicron for Turkish customers.
Ahmed, do you have any suggestions?
Thanks, Scott. I think Brahim mentioned everything about how we can get the information easily. If you are lost and you can't find the specific information, feel free to contact us at any time, Brahim or myself or Omicron Technical Support, and we will be very happy to support the customer, as we are customer-oriented here in Omicron. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you very much, Mohamed, Fadi, and Ahmed, for joining me in this episode of Energy Talks and sharing your insights into power system testing in the Middle East, as well as describing how Omicron's COMPANO 100 is helping users perform power system testing in the region.
Thanks, Scott, for having me in this podcast, and a big thank you to all of our audience.
Thanks a lot, Scott, to have me again, and a big thank for all our audience, and looking forward to meet you in another episode of Energy Talks. Thank you so much, and wish you a very nice day.
Thank you, Scott, and I hope our audience can enjoy our podcast and hope to meet you soon.
Thank you all again. And a big thank you to our audience for listening to this episode of Energy Talks. We always welcome your questions and feedback. Also, let us know if you want to know more about a particular topic and which topics interest you the most. To do this, simply send us an email to podcast@OMICRONenergy.com. Thank you to our listeners who have contacted us already. Omicron has several years of experience in power system testing and offers you the matching solution for your application. This includes not only COMPANO 100, which we heard about in this episode, but also many other innovative solutions for all aspects of power system testing. For more information, be sure to visit our website at OMICRONenergy.com. Our Omicron Academy also offers many webinars and training courses on power system testing. Simply look under training on our website. Please join us to listen to the next episode of Energy Talks. Goodbye for now, everyone.